Hey, this is Tyrese Anderson. What I want to talk about today is the question has been coming up a lot, especially among this newer generation coming up, which is that is Tupac overrated? Now, for to answer this question that has been coming up more and more and more and more and more often all the time, with a lot of channels out there even saying that he is overrated and the old head mentality is wrong and all that type of stuff, what I simply have to say to answer that question the best way possible, which a lot of young people, of course, reasonably are asking nowadays more and more, is this question because young people are inquisitive. They want to know these things. My answer to that question is that it depends on the way you look at things, okay? First and foremost, is Tupac clearly the greatest rapper of all time? No, he's not the greatest rapper of all time. Truth be told, the greatest rapper of all time would simply have to be someone who, first and foremost, is able to rhyme extremely well and tell the best stories. His stories he told in his music were good, but were not amazing. Besides, there's people out there who who have broken world records for rhyming for literally hours straight. Okay? There's people who probably could rhyme literally every single word you can imagine together. Maybe even for one rap that could last for an hour. God knows. There's a lot of very good rappers out there. There's a lot of people who are not just good at rhyming, but also good at telling stories and freestyling, which is just really telling a story over a longer period of time. So when it comes down to the question, is he the greatest rapper? The answer is simply put it, no. But should he be? Is he overrated? No, either. Because truth be told, Tupac stood up and spoke about things that at the time nobody was speaking out about. Everyone was keeping quiet about it, pretty much. Besides, he's the one who actually fought back against the police when the police were trying to pull off their BS on black people at the time. He's actually one of the few people who didn't just keep quiet about it. These cops were harassing him, and at some point, he actually defended himself against them, which rightfully so he did, and he didn't actually go to jail for it. Try hearing any rapper nowadays do anything like that. You're not going to hear a rapper doing anything like that. So no, truth be told, he is not overrated. Maybe in the future, maybe like the year 2100, when people find some magical way or to come up with better techniques for music, maybe songs that he made might be a lot easier to make, at least when it comes to the quality of his lyrics and all that type of stuff. It might be possible, but truth be told, he will always be a legend because he stood up for something when no one was standing up for it. Everyone's just keeping quiet. Songs like Changes talked about police brutality, and a lot of his other songs also talked about issues that were very important that no one was talking about. Everyone just kept quiet about it, especially in a massive stage that could actually be reached to millions of people, unlike some of these other groups of people like De La Soul and all that type of stuff, who pretty much who made good songs but were nothing really special in a sense of being able to actually speak the truth and actually still be have marketable careers. They pretty much follow the same annoying, boring cliche, especially at this point, of the conscious rapper versus the materialistic rapper. They had this whole anti-materialistic mindset that's kind of old and actually kind of flawed. All they pretty much rap about is the same thing. I'm not even dissing them. I'm just saying, like, that's the world they fell in. The whole cliche, most deaf, Talib Kweli, anti-materialistic way of thinking and stuff. But at the same time, how are you gonna still sell music and be marketable if you're just talking about revolution and stuff? If anything, when I listen to stuff like that, and as I've heard a lot of black people say that stuff, is it just makes you look at the closest white person and look at them differently. Like you get really horrible thoughts when you look at them when you listen to that type of music. Why do I want to listen to music like that all the time? That's what I'm trying to say here. And that's the truth of the matter is that Tupac was marketable and he spoke the truth. That's what makes him so special. So he's not overrated. Now, maybe his message at this point in history, if someone else were to do the same thing he did, Yeah, you can make the argument, yeah, maybe he is. Maybe that person is kind of, nah, not that great. But for the time, that was something special that no one else was doing. And everyone was just keeping quiet. If they got the paycheck right, even if they started speaking out, they would keep quiet about it. He didn't do any of that. He said what he wanted to say. And that's what made him sick for the time. So for anyone to say that he's overrated and he's nothing special, when they're listening to these rappers who have like these ugly ass hairstyles, some of them even look like their hairstyles are like that of a pineapple, and have all these ugly ass tattoos on their faces and stuff. To put it bluntly, and all that stuff. You're listening to that type of stuff, and you're saying Tupac sucks. And when a lot of these rappers, you can't even hear them rhyming or even saying anything that makes any sense when they're actually rapping. They pretty much sound like something from like the early 20th century, like one of those movies from that time period, with the way they speak. Like they literally actually sound like that. Like watch those movies from the early 20th century when how they depicted African Americans like, I'm gonna go to the store right now. Like that way of thinking, like the deep south way of thinking. That's how they rap. That's literally how they rap. They sound, to put it bluntly, especially in a modern world, they sound kind of retarded, in all honesty. And I'm not saying those black Southerners at the time were retarded, they're just poorly educated. But they literally actually sound like those type of people. And some of those stuff was actually even extremely racist. And that's how those people sound. They sound fucking dumb. That's what I'm trying to say here. So truth be told, you can't disrespect Tupac when he actually put an effort to make good quality music and actually rhyme and tell us stories that actually made sense and actually spoke the truth when you're making all these comments when a lot of these people can't even rhyme and stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. So truth be told, Tupac is not overrated. If that's what you were wondering, I've answered that question. He's not overrated. It's not even a question of subjective. It's objective. Whether you like his music or not, that's your personal preference. That is true. I have to admit there. You might have different tastes and stuff than I would. But truth be told, when it comes to answering that question objectively, when it comes to legacy and stuff, objectively, he is not overrated. He is not overrated at all. Truth be told. And that's all I have to say. This has been a video by Tyrese Anderson. Hope you enjoy it. If you like more videos like this, subscribe. And that's all I have to say.